Hey, yo, what's up? It's Smooth.
Vaughn.
This is Riggs.
And Slick Money.
And you are now listening to the
Switch Style Podcast.
Welcome to the Switch Style Podcast, where we encourage you to think beyond what you hear. I'm your host, Smooth, and I'm joined by Vaughn and Riggs. What up, guys?
What up? What up, Smooth?
What's going on?
Glad to see you all, of course.
Glad to see you. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. If I can get Vaughn to stop laughing at me, I'll be good. I'm still dealing with this cough. But yeah, other than that, I'm great.
Well, that's good. We're glad to see you in the building.
Yeah, me too. Great Monday. It's a lot of rain outside, but
yeah,
we'll keep it moving though. Guys have anything else?
No,
Everybody
let's
good?
jump in.
Here we go. This is episode 37 of the Switch Style Podcast, and audience, welcome back. We're actually going to be talking about Starboy by The Weeknd. We're going to review his album, and also we'll give you a quick chart update and let you know what album is coming out this Friday that we're all so excited about. So again, before we jump into it, if you like what you hear, audience, please subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play Music, and SoundCloud, all at Switch Style Podcast. And also follow us on Facebook,
Instagram,
and
Twitter.
All right, here we go. Let's update the charts. Congratulations to The Weeknd. Starboy debuted at number 1 on Billboard's 200 chart, earning 348,000 equivalent album units. 209,000 of those were traditional album sales. Any quick thoughts on Starboy?
yeah, it deserves to be where it's at. It's a good album.
And for now, it's the third largest debut of 2016 behind only Views and Lemonade. Remember last week, Metallica actually became the third largest debut of the year, but Starboy has now surpassed it. Also, Starboy is The Weeknd's second number 1 following 2015's Beauty Behind the Madness. And to note, 117,000 of Starboy's sum was made up of streaming units, equaling 175.2 million streams of Starboy's songs in its first week. So streaming has played a big role in the huge debut that The Weeknd has had, and we'll find out more about that in a second. On the Hot 100, Riggs' favorite song, Black Beatles.
Riggs and Vaughn's favorite song.
Yeah, Vaughn was singing it before we got here. No, I'm just playing. But Black Beatles by Ray Shremmerd and Gucci Mane continues their run atop the chart with a 4th consecutive week at number 1. So congrats to them.
I told Riggs, I said, I need to listen to that song again and see what I'm missing.
That girl is a real girl, baby.
Yeah, but I'm like, I guess because it's number 1, I'm trying to see what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and remember, a lot of its position on the chart was really boosted by the mannequin challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, it's like all of these internet sensations. You know, it's not just about the song anymore. They have these challenges or whatever it might be to help support it. So that's why they're there. So
Listening to that song just make me feel old.
wow.
Like I'm an old man. Like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Like a grumpy old man.
What the hell is young boy talking about? Anybody do that? It's terrible.
Yeah. But people seem to like it. So like there's an audience for it. And
Well, I ain't mad he getting money. I'm not a hater.
Yeah.
I ain't a hater. Nobody that's getting their money. So.
But thank God for the older segment of rappers that's trying to emerge, like Tribe and De La Soul, and Common's pretty old now. Snoop put out one. Wasn't crazy about Kool-Aid, but
Yeah, I mean, plus they're all young dudes out there. I mean, they're not really selling that much, but real nice, got lyrics, all that, and young women too, like Rhapsody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and shout out to Rhapsody.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard Crown, please check out Rhapsody's Crown. But yeah, I think just with any artist, they always have what's happened in the past working against them. So, but yeah, again, we'll just keep it short. Congratulations to Ray Shremmerd. And we'll actually move on to what's new next. But before we do that, if you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play Music, and SoundCloud, all at Switch Style Podcast. And also follow us on Facebook,
Instagram,
and
Twitter.
All right, here we go. This Friday, December 9th, 2016. Look out for new music from rap star J. Cole, who's back with his 4th proper album, For Your Eyes Only. You guys excited?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see what J. Cole talking about.
J. Cole. But yeah, I'm sorry, Vaughn, I did miss that. Also, audience, on the Hot 100, just to backtrack real fast, every track on Starboy actually debuted in the Hot 100 this week. 3 of the tracks were already there, but the remaining 15 tracks made their debut on the Hot 100.
And you talking about long. Woo!
Yes.
80 minutes.
Yes, it is a long album.
You mentioned earlier to me that the other person to do that was Drake earlier this year.
Yes. Yeah, Drake is the only other person to accomplish that feat with Views. Every track on Views hit the Hot 100 earlier this year. All 20 tracks on Views.
And Canadians are doing big things.
Yes, great time to be a Canadian. Yeah, I applied for Canadian citizenship earlier in the week. So
you and a whole bunch of other Americans.
Yes, we are all moving to Canada.
We'll see how many people going to do it. We're going to see how many people going to do it for real.
So at the top of the year, we will be broadcasting live from Canada. Canada, that's not even a country. Don't know where Canada is. Right.
Switch Style Podcast,
right. From Canada. Live from Vancouver. Nah, that's too far west. I'll just go to Toronto. But yeah, congratulations, Weeknd. And back to J. Cole. So I'm excited about J. Cole. I know you guys said you were as well.
Yeah, been a fan since he came out. Like all his features. Liked his documentary. Yeah, I can't wait to hear the next album.
Yeah, I'm excited. And he's already making waves with his new song, False Prophets. And Vaughn's homeboy, Wale, has already responded with the track of his own. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I like Wale too. That's a bad boy.
Yeah, the album about nothing.
That's right. DMV, baby.
DMV. All right, guys. Well, we'll actually go ahead and jump into the album review of Starboy. But again, before we do that, if you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play Music, and SoundCloud, all at Switch Style Podcast. And also follow us on Facebook,
Instagram,
and
Twitter.
Let's actually learn a little bit about the Weeknd before we jump into the review. Abel Tesfaye was born. Yeah, that's his name, Abel. Abel, I think it's Abel, but it could be Abel, however he wants to say it.
I think it's Abel.
Yeah. Abel Tesfaye was born February 16th, 1990 in Toronto, Canada. In 2011, he released a trio of free mixtapes titled House of Balloons, Thursday, and Echoes of Silence online. After signing to Universal's Republic Records, the 3 mixtapes were repackaged as the trilogy and eventually sold 2 million copies. Ain't that something? All 3 of those mixtapes were free, but when he signed to Republic Records, they re-released it as the trilogy and it sold 2 million records.
Wow. And it was already free.
Yeah, which ended up being essentially 6 million. That's crazy. But yeah, just want to point it out.
Hey, refrigerators to Eskimos.
Yeah, there you go. In 2003, Kissland followed, and 2015's Beauty Behind the Madness made him a superstar. To date, The Weeknd has collected 4 top 3 Hot 100 hits, including 2 number ones, 2 number 1 albums, and 2 Grammy Awards. So let's jump right into it. Vaughn, what were your first impressions of Starboy, the single? Not the album itself, but the actual single.
Starboy is a hot song. I liked it.
Not Vaughn, but Riggs, what about you?
I liked it. It took me a couple of years to listen to something to really like it. I guess because it had Daft Punk on it, I was expecting for the track to be more, I guess, progressive. But once I just sat down to listen to it, just to listen to it, I enjoyed it.
For me, it was most one of the tracks on the album that's most reminiscent of his earlier work, because it starts out with these really booming drums, and I'm like, Riggs, like you thinking Daft Punk is really just gonna come in and just really kill it, but they go back to these minor chords and it's really dark, but it's a track full of bravado. He pretty much goes on, he's talking about all the cars that he has, and how he's pretty much, he didn't say it per se in the song, but he's pretty much saying that I'm a star, I've established myself, I'm pretty much the king, and y'all are behind me, y'all are chasing me now. That's pretty much what I got from that first single, Starboy.
Yeah, it's about that life. Yeah,
he's definitely about that life. Riggs, were you surprised that he put out another album so quickly?
No, not really, because it just seems by a lot of different moves that he makes that most of his moves are not based, on just money, even though he's getting it, but he's music driven. So I guess he had to get it out.
Vaughn, what about you? Are you surprised he put out an album so quickly?
I wasn't. I think maybe he probably wanted to just get it all out, and so that way he can start a touring and selling more. So I was surprised, wasn't really too much surprised, but I mean, it worked for him.
Yeah, it did. And me personally, I was extremely surprised because he was coming off Beauty Behind the Madness and, the 2 Grammys, the number 1 hits with The Hills and Can't Feel My Face, and Earned It was huge. Like, when he dropped Earned It, I think that was like late 2014, early 2015, that was probably one of the better songs I had heard in a while. And to this day, it's still my favorite Weeknd song. But I was surprised, but he came out, he did the interview with Zane from Beats One, Zane Lowe from Beats One, and he pretty much said that, he was going on tour with Rihanna, and we talked about it earlier, audience. You can go back through the archive shows and find it. But he canceled the European leg of Rihanna's tour to go back in the studio because he said he was running off fumes from the old album, and he had a lot of stuff that he needed to get out. And he went out and recruited Daft Punk, which I was kind of surprised about because they rarely work with anybody. So that was a shock for me. Well, Riggs, I'll go to you. Secret and Audience Secrets is one of the songs on the album. It borrows from The Romantics, Talking in Your Sleep, and Tears for Fears, Pale Shelter. Do you think he has a slight obsession with 80s pop?
Yeah, I would say so, which isn't a bad thing, especially him being more so R&B. Getting that 80s pop feel is a good thing. Who of the millennials really knows that song,
Yeah.
I hear, when you
Right.
talk it, not too many.
They know.
So it's a good thing to draw from, I think, and I like it. It's hot.
Vaughn, what about you? How did you feel about Secrets?
I think it worked for him. It seemed like that's his style, more of his style. So, hey, and he had to be an old head to listen back to that stuff and know that stuff, and it seemed like it worked for him because it flowed very well. So he had some experience with it.
Yeah, he did. And Talking in Your Sleep and Pale Shelter, those were songs that both came out at least 5 to 6 years before he was even born.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like you.
But he stated in interviews that 80s pop had a big influence on him. He's a huge Michael Jackson fan. He talked about meeting Quincy Jones and how he was just completely taken back. I mean, anybody would be. I know.
Pretty much.
Yeah, with Quincy Jones and an audience. Well, I'll give it to you later in my What Are You Listening To? But Secrets is by far my favorite song on the album. It's very pop driven, very full of electric and acoustic guitars. It's a wonderful blend of all those guitars. I think one of my favorite songs.
Was Secrets the one that we were talking about and I said it was a Far Out There? Is that the one?
No, that was False Alarm.
Oh, False Alarm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. That song sound like you need to be in a club and just you pop a Molly or something and be
In a rave. Huh?
Yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that song felt like that to me.
Yeah. Weeknd, he was popping mollies back in the day.
I heard.
Yeah, he was big into drugs. He's sober now, of course.
Well, they said he was. I saw a report said something about he was on drugs or something doing this album. Like they said he was on drugs or something. Maybe that was.
Oh wow, I didn't hear that.
And I think it said his first 3 albums or whatever that he created them on drugs.
Oh, he created them. Okay.
Yeah, because he spoke about how he would go on stage and he just had a certain anxiety and he would drink to ease his nerves before going on stage to perform. And Weeknd, he's not from Ethiopia, but his parents
both of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they migrated from Ethiopia. I don't know exactly what was going on at the time, a civil war and probably some other things. I don't know if you know about it, anything about it.
I just said that they migrated to
Toronto
in the 80s. I didn't really give a reason why.
But Weeknd, he grew up, he was in the suburb of Scarborough, Ontario, and he dropped out of school. Like, this is a guy who didn't graduate high school.
Part of how he got his name.
He was living with some friends, and they were just experimenting with drugs, with sex. They were just doing whatever.
Wilding out. Pretty
much. So that, audience, if you didn't know that, now you know there's just a little bit more background on the Weeknd. Vaughn, let me ask you this. Superstar producer Max Martin, He produces Rockin', Love to Lay, and A Lonely Night, and he appeared on Weeknd's last album, most notably on Can't Feel My Face. Let me ask you this. Do you think he sounds a bit too much like Michael Jackson when they work together?
Well, I think when you are a fan of someone and you admire their music and their sound, you have to express yourself through them. So maybe you might sound like them. He probably didn't mean to sound like him, but he is such a great inspiration to him.
Briggs, what do you think?
I think it definitely has that MJ flow, but I do think that he's got enough of his own sound, his own ability, his own, whatever he conveys through his music, that he doesn't sound so much like him that it's like it makes you uneasy. It's just, I think he does that flow well. I like it.
Yeah, he does, and honestly, he didn't pick like Ron said, he didn't pick a bad person to emulate.
Nope.
I mean, if you want to be like anybody,
be like Mike.
Yeah, wanna be like Mike.
Yeah, his subject matter also was always a bit different than what Mike would do.
Yeah,
Right.
because Mike was the soft type of.
Yeah,
he coming hard.
yeah, he is, and a lot of the things that. Michael, I won't say Mike experimented with drugs, but he did take drugs later on in life. He wasn't doing the type of stuff that Weeknd was doing, not that heavy stuff. But like Vaughn said, their story is completely different, and I think that's what separates the two. And as far as Max Martin is concerned, Max Martin is probably, in terms of pop music, he's been escapable the last nearly 20 years. If I called off a lot of his hits, which include Britney Spears, Baby One More Time. I know Riggs not a big fan of Britney Spears. NSYNC is going to be me, Katy Perry, I Kissed a Girl, and Dark Horse, Pink, So What, Kelly Clarkson's My Life Would Suck Without You, along with The Weeknd. I mean, Max Martin has been everywhere. So I don't think it's a bad idea to work with Max Martin. And the records, actually, to be honest, Love to Lay is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, I like
on
that
the album.
song.
Wait a minute, which one?
Love to Lay.
And then every dude got one of those in their background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But on Love to Lay, he was pretty much speaking about his relationship, how he met his match in a woman, how she would only want to sleep with him, and she would get up and try to leave, and he would be like, "Hey, where you going?"
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
one.
but he met his match in her, and she was like, "No, dude,
So it's crazy for you to love me."
Yeah, I'm not the committing type. So he met his match in her. Vaughn, what's your favorite feature on the album?
I like Kendrick Lamar.
On Sidewalks?
Sidewalks. Yep, I like that.
Riggs, what about you?
I kind of like all the features. I like the Daft Punk, especially with the second song that they did for him. I like Future, and I like, you're not gonna hear me say that too much.
Yeah.
Right. That.
Actually, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I like Future. Future's all right to me.
It was funny. That's what the song was about.
Which one? 6 Feet Under? With Future on it?
Yeah, it's funny.
That was one of my favorite ones on the album. And that was one of the questions
he
I was.
might have been talking about Sierra a little bit.
He might. I don't know who he was talking about, but
Nah, I don't think he's talking about Sierra.
I think he's talking about Sierra.
because
I think she
Weeknd
got her
was
own
really.
thing.
Yeah, he was singing most of the lyrics,
Yeah.
but that was one of my favorite songs on the album because it just sounds like that would be the perfect strip club song. And audience, don't get me wrong, I've been in some strip clubs, but I hadn't spent a significant portion of my time in strip clubs. But if I'm going to strip clubs and, if I had a favorite stripper, which I don't, by the way, they might look nice dancing to that song.
Oh, they're going to be twerking.
Yeah,
real.
they'll definitely be twerking to that.
Yeah.
Twerking
That's definitely a twerk song.
whatever the popular term is. That's what they're going to do to it. And I mean,
smacking everything.
right, and I think that's one of the songs. It just shows Weeknd's versatility. It's a very versatile album.
I think you and Marvin should investigate.
Yeah, we should. We should. We should. Yeah, we
Marvin said he can make it happen.
Yeah, we definitely need to re-up on some of the strip clubs because the last time we went, him and I together, we had a not so great experience.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
We'll talk about that after the show.
yeah, we'll talk about that after the show. But yeah, an audience, if you're wondering, Atlanta, we're recording the show from Atlanta,
The
which
strip
has
clubs
yeah,
capital.
Atlanta has the greatest strip clubs throughout the world, the undisputed. But that's enough about the strip clubs. But yeah, I didn't answer. My favorite feature on the album was, I'm like, Riggs, I like all of them, but specifically that Lana Del Rey feature on Stargirl Interlude. Her voice is so special. Lana Del Rey's voice, it's so mesmerizing. Like, you could actually, and I don't mean that in a fall asleep way, there's not many people out there that sound like Lana Del Rey. I think her voice is really that special. And in that setting, and Weeknd actually comes on at the end of the interlude, and and I know Riggs, he wants to talk about it. So.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like I said earlier, I really wish that would have been a full song.
Yeah, I agree.
'Cause the track and everything is tight.
And in Weeknd's interview with Zane Lowe, he mentioned that he feels that Lana Del Rey and him are musical counterparts. That
She let her lay.
I don't know.
Just jokes.
I don't know, but Lana Del Rey is amazing, and Daft Punk, they show up on the lead single Starboy and I Feel It Coming, and those are two of my favorites. And that Kendrick Lamar,
I like Feel It.
He shows up on Sidewalks.
He just kills everything he does.
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah,
he does, and he doesn't do a lot of features, and I think he's very selective, like sort of an Andre 3000 in that way. And he picked a good one. I mean, Sidewalks is one of the better songs on the album.
It is. I like that one.
And it's funny, we mentioned earlier that every song on the album charted, and out of the new songs, like the top 3 songs, Starboy, Party Monster, and I Feel It Coming, they were already on the chart. But Sidewalks was the top entry. It debuted at number 27, which it shows how popular it was. And Sidewalks actually, it was streamed 10.3 million times.
Wow.
Yeah, it did.
Everybody wants to see what he talking about.
Everybody. So shout out to Kendrick. Let me ask you guys this. This might be I'm going to call it a controversial question. But is The Weeknd R&B's biggest star right now?
What you think?
Honestly, yeah. I think he currently occupies the throne. I think he's the king of R&B. He's the most ambitious right now. He's the one that's constantly in the spotlight. I mean, he could have, after Beauty Behind the Madness, he could have easily walked away and said, and I'll just come back in 3 years and drop another album. But he came back, and the fact that he sacrificed money from Rihanna's tour just says how much he cared about the music and how bad he wanted to get out what he had. But I think he's the king right now. Trey Songz has took a break. He's been around, but he's not as ambitious as Weeknd.
Definitely not.
No.
Miguel still hasn't. He's very progressive musically. I really like Miguel, but I don't think his music, the scope of his music, reaches as broad as The Weeknd's.
No,
And it doesn't. And the other guy I'm trying to think of, well, Frank. I won't say Frank dropped a bomb or he dropped the ball on this last one, but I think Frank kind of gets in his own way. Like he just seems like he doesn't care. He put out Endless and Blonde, and honestly, I don't expect to hear from Frank Ocean anytime soon.
Wow.
And I'm trying to think of who else might be. Usher. Usher.
That's what I was gonna say. I might as well cry for Usher.
Yeah, I think. Well, Usher was done years ago. Beyond, I mean, he's still making incredible music, but in terms of him
being
actually
being number one,
right.
I think after he got married and stuff, not to say that's a bad thing for you to get married, but I think it kind of like dimmed him a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
It dimmed him a little bit. So, but I love me some Usher.
What do you think?
I'm not a big Weeknd fan.
Okay.
But hey, he's what's hot now. So better get used to him being around.
Reese, what about you?
His label, even though we don't like labels, but it fits him, alternative R&B.
Right.
And I think he did kind of follow Mike's formula in the way that Mike came out with Off the Wall. Off the Wall was an amazing album. When he came back and he switched, he put more rock, he put more different influences on his album, and this album is really like got a lot of dance, electronica type of stuff in it, like a lot of stuff that you hear maybe from like a Disclosure or Chet and Flug, whatever, dudes like that, Kaytranada. So he's on that, and well, of course, Daft Punk. So he got in that lane, and boy, yeah, that it works for him. He does that really well. His R&B just is not regular R&B, so it's
Right.
Yeah, it's different.
It crosses over, but it doesn't cross over in a way that it's like you sold out. So yeah, Weeknd, he's doing his thing. He's hot. He's on top.
Honestly, this is probably one of my favorite albums this year. And him and Bruno, I was thinking about him and Bruno. We talked about Bruno Mars last week, and I think they're both.
They're
might not
different.
consider. Yeah, they're both different, but they're probably the two leading figures, and they might not consider Bruno an R&B artist, but to me he is. I think they're the two leading.
Oh, this album definitely is R&B.
Yeah. So yeah, Bruno is an R&B artist, in my opinion. And he's always flirted with R&B in the past, even on his past work. But to me, Bruno and The Weeknd, they're right there. They're neck and neck.
They are, and it's interesting. They're doing it neck and neck, but they're total opposites of the spectrum.
Right.
Two different, total different.
Bruno
sounds.
is happy. You listen to that album when you want to have a good time, you want to smile, you want to be happy. The Weeknd is very dark.
Yeah.
You know, even when he's talking about, you know, the whole lifestyle of the industry, it's kind of sad. He's making money, he's doing his thing, but waking up to somebody you don't know their name, and
That's crazy.
and you know, everybody wants. There's nobody. It seems like none of the women in his songs are want anything but fame and money.
Yeah.
And something fast and fleeting, and the whole thing is fleeting and hot, and they're on top, but it's sad. All the things that you miss, all the basic things that really make your life happy. So it is dark.
The song you mentioned, Party Monster, he says he woke up next to a girl and he doesn't even know her name. Like he's going through all his drawer, checking for his change, checking for all his stuff, and
Exactly, having parties at the crib and got to go check and see if his chain is on the dresser.
right, which is crazy. And you would hate to live like that, but that probably really could be the way he's living. And he's sort of a recluse. Like he's only been attached to Bella Hadid, the supermodel. So we hadn't seen him in too many public relationships, and he really doesn't do interviews. Like he stepped out and he did a few this time around, but his first three mixtapes, the trilogy, he didn't do any interviews. Like people didn't even know who Weeknd was.
Because it was a long time before I knew who he was. But I think that's gonna all come with maturity. It's gonna take time for him to get. Once he get, maybe after this album, maybe he'll start slowing down and he'll really see. Because since he's singing about it, he'll really see what it's all. He'll be like, oh, I don't want that life for myself.
Go ahead.
And like you said earlier, now he's sober.
Yeah.
Right. He could see a lot
So it'll
clearer.
probably be a lot more interviews now that he's sober.
Right. Yeah, he's sober and he cut his hair. I was kind of glad he cut his hair.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, he said it was easier for him. He can shower better. He can sleep better. He said he would spend like 2 hours washing his hair,
Wow.
which is great. And he had a lot of hair. Like he's only like 5'7", but his hair would sort of boost his height. So
It made him look taller.
right.
He's like 6'2".
Yeah, the hair made a big difference. But it's a new Weeknd. He tried something different, and I think him not doing interviews, I think it adds to his mystique. It's sort of like that Daft Punk, that Sade, that D'Angelo, or maybe Lauryn Hill to a certain extent. Artists just Maxwell that just kind of stay out of the spotlight, and you never hear from them.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Half of those artists did have drug problems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
And they want to stay as far away as somebody grilling them about something.
Yeah, if I ever meet Weeknd, I want to, or just Daft Punk, say, man, take that helmet off.
Right.
They're always wearing those helmets. But what are some of you guys' favorite songs? Vaughn, what are your favorite songs?
Well, I liked Starboy, Rockin', True Colors, Sidewalks, Attention, Die For You, and I Feel It Coming. Those were a couple of songs. And like I said, I'm not a big Weeknd fan. This is my first time really checking him out, but I like those.
Riggs, what about you? Any favorite songs?
Oh man, this album is good. So I have a lot, really. I like Party Monster. Vaughn don't like it, but I really like False Alarm.
Yeah, I agree, man.
That's progressive. It's got a little, a little bit of everything in it. I like 9 Inch Nails a little bit. Got that little bit of vibe, 9 Inch Nails light.
The screaming vocals and the distortion.
That was I like Rockin'. Secrets is dope. I like True Colors. Stargirl Interlude. It's real hot. Like we talked about earlier. I wish it was a full song. 6 Feet Under I like. Love to Lay. Lonely Night. Ordinary Life I like. Nothing Without You. All I Know. Die For You. I Feel It Coming. So it's really only a couple of tracks that I didn't really like a lot.
You know, Secrets was my favorite one. Sidewalks, Reminder, 6 Feet Under, Die For You, True Colors, Love to Lay, I Feel It Coming. And I agree with you, Riggs. Out of the 18 songs, there's at least 12 or 13, probably more than that. I know there were probably only maybe one or two that I could say
right.
And I wouldn't even say that I didn't care
like
for them,
but they're just not so.
It might have been the groove or lyrically. Every song is intriguing. Lyrically, they're all intriguing, but maybe on a few songs, the production on a few of them, specifically, Nothing Without You, All I Know, Attention, and Ordinary Life. Those might have been the only few, and I have to go back and listen. But those might have been the few that I wasn't crazy about. But for the most part, I mean, it's a great album. It's very progressive, and I think it's what the genre needs. R&B at least needs, in my opinion, to push it forth. And that was my whole thing with Bruno last week. Like, why aren't you being progressive? And I know he's his own artist. He makes whatever he wants to make. But my thing is try something different. Push the genre forward. And I think R&B needs that. Like, hip hop has that in a Kanye West, but there's nobody in R&B that's innovating, that's pushing the music forward. And I think The Weeknd does that here. Like, Riggs and I, everything on here we've heard before.
Yeah.
In some form, but you know, a lot of people who are younger than us, I said that like I'm 60 years old, but people who are younger,
who have younger ears,
right? They hadn't heard a lot of this stuff before, so it's new for a lot of people. But it's one of my favorites. Vaughn, let me ask you this: if somebody asked you, if somebody just walked up to you and said, "Hey, Vaughn, I heard you on Twitch Style, and I heard you talking about all this music, and you know a little bit, so let me ask you, if you had to buy this album, would you, well, if somebody asked you if they should buy the album, what would you tell them?"
I would tell them to stream it first and then make your decision. But, I mean, it has some good stuff on it. It does. Like I said, I wasn't a Weeknd fan, but it's different because it's different type of R&B. It's some of the music, like I said, is far out there, and you have to keep an open mind and listen to it. So I would say stream it, buy it.
Riggs, what about you?
Get it, put it in.
Yeah, go in the store and pay $14.93 or whatever I paid for it.
$14.83.
$14.83. Go ahead, do it.
There you go.
Download it for however much, it's a good album.
Yeah, it's something to have in the collection.
Mm-hmm.
I was just telling them what it was. Like, it's got a lot of stuff that you can't dance to, but it's still kind of dark. You ain't really gonna play it for your girl, like,
Right? Yeah. This is definitely not one you gonna play for her, for your girl.
Nah, this ain't no slow jams. Nah.
Yeah.
But definitely, yeah, I like it. It's a good album.
And I agree. I'm telling everybody to buy it,
Tell them to buy it.
But I would tell, like Vaughn, I would tell people to stream it first. And reason is Weeknd, I'm mad at you.
Tell
I
them.
bought this album.
Tell them.
And you have absolutely no credits.
No credits.
In the album.
Just pictures.
Just pictures of cats. And I don't even, well, no disrespect. But I don't like cats. I'm not a fan of cats. I'm sure cats are nice. People
Cats
like
and the new school kid and play haircut.
Right. Cats are nice. No disrespect to all the cats in the world. Keep doing your thing. But but my thing is, Weeknd, I buy albums to actually find out who engineered things, who produced things, who wrote things, and it was completely absent.
Smooth is big on the credits.
Right.
Big.
I mean, they have Daft Punk on a couple of joints, but maybe everything else is set to pictures. Everything's The Weeknd. The Weeknd,
right.
The Weeknd, and The Weeknd.
She had Daft Punk. Max Martin produced a few tracks. Doc McKinney, who was with them back on House of Balloons and some other stuff, he produced a few. A guy named Cashmere Cat produced some songs, and
Picture of the cat.
Maybe that explains it. Maybe Cashmere Cat said, "You know what, Weeknd, you should put some cats in your album cover."
Wow.
So I don't know. We're just speculation on our part.
When I say it's no words, no words.
None at all.
But the back, it just say who manufactured and Republic Records.
But audience, you should buy this album, and I'll tell you why. Weeknd, in my opinion, you can ask Riggs or Vaughn or whoever, Lil Bob on the street, whoever you might want to ask. But Weeknd is currently the reigning king of R&B. He's the most ambitious. He's the most progressive. And he still has a certain mystique that surrounds him. And he's working harder than everybody else. It's as simple as that. Since 2011, within the span of 5 or 6 years, he's put out 6 albums. And in addition to that, he's appeared on Love Me Harder with Ariana Grande. He was on Beyonce's album. He was on The Life of Pablo. I mean, he's putting in the work, and I think he completely deserves everything that he's getting now. And it's a great album lyrically, sonically, musically. It challenges you. So if you're not a big pop fan, or if you're a fan of something different, if you want to try something different, this is the album for you.
And it's definitely different. And I would say pick it up.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Check it out. So congratulations, Weeknd. Thanks for the great album. I'll definitely be listening to it into next year. Yeah, what about you?
It's only a month away, but me too.
Yeah. But yeah, knowing me these days, man, we keep it moving, and all we've done is album reviews the last 5 shows. So we'll be on to J. Cole next week. But Vaughn, let's actually tell the people what we're listening to. You got anything you're listening to you want to let the audience know about?
Oh man, I've been listening to Rhapsody. Please go check out this sister. She is from Snow Hill, North Carolina. Check her out. She has a very dope sound. This chick, she can flow. I believe everything she's saying. It's like, you know how when you listen to somebody and you can't understand, half of these rappers, you can't understand what they're saying. You can actually understand what she's saying. And I guess me, a female, I could feel what she's saying. Like,
right.
I can relate with her. She has a couple of songs, Special Way from DeBarge, like that's in the background. Wow. Yeah, she has my song, Lauryn Hill. She did that thing. A couple of my favorite songs was Thank You Very Much. She was reading them on that. Facts, reading them. Just straight reading them. Kingship, I like that one. Dark Nights. Lonely Thoughts. IJS. The Pressure. I liked all of them. So check out Rhapsody.
Crown is the name of the album, right?
Rap Crown.
Yeah, Rap Crown. Rhapsody's Crown. So check out Crown by Rhapsody. For me, it's simple for me. Tears for Fears.
Tears for Fears.
Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Weeknd was inspired by them on this album, specifically Secrets. So check out Tears for Fears. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Probably one of my 10 favorite songs ever. So check that out. Riggs, what you got?
Esperanza Spalding, Emily's De-Evolution. And the track that I really like the most, that I really feel, even though it's a good track, it's a good fusion album. A lot of her stuff is real sweet, some of it is like, leaning more toward classic jazz or whatever, but she's got a little bit of everything, and this one is definitely some deep fusion. But Rest in Pleasure is an awesome song. The musicality of it is good, and the lyrics are even better. So everybody check out Esperanza Spalding. The album again is Emily's De-Evolution, and the main track that Riggs like is Rest in Pleasure.
Yep.
She is a sweetie. You could somebody like you could just tell she's a sweetheart.
And it's funny, I was looking at some pictures of her, and I was listening to the album, and she's got an older picture, and she looks a lot like my daughter Ciara.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, wow. I sent her the picture. I was like, don't this look like you? And she was like, yeah, I do kind of favor.
No.
Breaking news, audience. Riggs is Esperanza Spalding's daddy. Just found out. Riggs been holding out on us.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Just jokes.
Yeah, we've been sitting here. Nobody knows about us. And, he could have been telling his daughter, but we're just kidding. But audience, check out Esperanza Spalding's Rest in Pleasure. Esperanza Spalding's Rest in Pleasure. And Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. And Vaughn's version of Rhapsody's Crown. Yeah, she has one with 16 songs. I need to get that one.
You know what? I've been listening to She Got Game.
Wow.
I've been
That's
listening
one
to
of her
She
older
Got
albums,
Game. Yeah, She Got Game.
Okay.
That's what I was listening to. She Got Game.
Well, audience,
Which
correction.
which was 21 songs, 80 minutes long.
Okay, there you
That's
go.
the one I was listening to. Okay, so no.
So correction, audience.
But Jay did, he said crown, but it's She Got Game.
Well, listen to both of them.
2013. So
yeah.
now I gotta go because I wanted to go and listen to her old stuff and
There you go.
And
Now
now
you gotta listen to her new stuff.
Listen. So next week I will be listening to Crown.
Yeah, and send her a tweet on Twitter. She'll probably tweet you back.
Surely will.
Because her and Ninth Wonder, probably every 6 hours, I get a tweet from them.
What?
Not directly, but saying that they've
like
retweeted.
something.
So they're retweeting all comments. So send her a comment. Say, Rhapsody, what's up?
Yeah, check us out.
Yeah,
Switch Style Podcast.
I just gave you a shout out, my sister.
Rhapsody, you got a new fan.
That's right. That's right. And it's good to go back and listen to their older stuff, so that way you can get a flow for them. And then when you listen to their newer stuff, it makes you appreciate them more.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's the same thing with sort of the Weeknd. It's kind of hard to come in and make a judgment on any artist without sort of listening to prior work. So, but good point, Vaughn. Let's go. Let's shout some people out. Vaughn, what you got?
I would like to shout out my Swiss Style Podcast family. Always appreciate you guys. Glad to see you. And the DMV family. Thank you for listening, you guys. We need to get those numbers up. Get them numbers up. Need some more listening. And shout out to my little brother Jamal. Y'all, he started his job tomorrow. He is working at Chick-fil-A. So,
Jamal, I need one of them sandwiches.
So yeah, he started working tomorrow. My baby growing up. So I'm so proud of him. So I like to give him a shout out.
Yeah. What up, Jamal?
What up? Send me some Polynesian sauce.
Right. Take the number 2, the spicy chicken combo with the peach milkshake.
Ooh.
You don't like the peach milkshake?
I only do chocolate.
I never tried it, but I'm gonna let you know.
Chocolate shake for a chocolate girl. There you go.
That's right.
Riggs, what you got, man?
Oh, same. My Switch Style Podcast family, all those who are listening. Marvelous Marv over here in the cut.
He's sleeping.
Yeah, it look like he's taking a nap. He was supposed to be watching that game.
Slick Money.
Yeah, Slick Money.
All right, shout out to my friend Jack again.
Hey, Jack.
Shout out to my daughter Sierra.
Hi, Sierra.
My son Austin. And Uncle E.
Uncle E.
Even though he don't listen like he should.
Come on, Uncle E. You got to listen.
Uncle E, we still love you.
Yeah.
But shout out everybody. Thank you, audience. If you're listening right now, thank you for listening. And if you are listening, like Vaughn and Riggs said, tell a friend to tell a friend. You can find this and all archive shows on iTunes, Google Play Music, and SoundCloud. So you can find us in 3 different places.
That's right.
So check us out. If you have any feedback for us, you can email us at switchstylepodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. Leave us a comment on iTunes, Google Play Music, SoundCloud,
Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yeah. Follow us on all of those. And also, shout out, of course, to Riggs and Vaughn. Thank you, as always. I appreciate you guys lending out your homes to us. And we definitely appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to talk about music.
Hey, we appreciate you.
That's right.
I just do what I can. Just
part of our life.
Just glad y'all allowed me to be a part of it. That's all I got. So, guys, that's a wrap on episode 37. And we'll see you next week.
Peace.